What up, broskies? What up, dude? What up? Almost didn't make it. Almost didn't make it. But I got home just in time. Yeah, I was in some buys earlier and I got stopped out break even. I got stopped out break even, unfortunately. This is my what is it? I think I tried to short in the morning, break even, and then I longed here on the breakout. I caught 20 pips on my first closure, and then my second closure got taken out break even here. It wicked me, and then it started driving up. I was thinking of not going break even and holding past market open, but well, there. Look at that dump. I haven't even analyzed anything, to be honest. If I'm being honest with you. I haven't even hit the spliff yet. This is a Cuban cigar. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Did you miss the breakdown? No, I didn't break anything down. One thing that is new is I got memberships on YouTube now. So let's start with this monthly candle, right? So our previous monthly closed doji, our prior monthly closed massively bullish. If we were to have started off this monthly with the bottom wick and then it flipped bullish, that break of the opening to create that monthly top wick would have been a beautiful celery play to the upside. But when you look a little bit deeper and you look into the weekly time frame, you start to see a little bit of a different picture. You do see a closure above, but then you see a closure back into range, and now price is driving with no bottom wick. Could this be a liquidity grab for the inevitable drive back down as the markets start to correct, during Trump? Is this going to be the next few weeks where we start to see the resistance being formed here, or maybe even in the same week? Because you look what we had here. We just money printed back and forth. We money printed here to the downside, we money printed here to the upside, and now we have double weeklies with no top wicks, and this weekly is coming up to create a top wick first without creating a bottom wick. So is this a liquidity grab for a continuation down? That's something that's very, very interesting. Our daily candle closed above the most recent ranges. Here you can't see it. I don't know why this doesn't fill the candle. That's fucking weird. But we did close above the most recent ranges, and we're now back into this clean range to all-time highs here. So we're 106 pips away. Or at, what is it? Is that at 106 points or 106 pips? That's 1,300 pips. So highs can be formed like this. Highs can be formed like this. Highs can be formed like this. Right? You can get different combinations of highs here on the higher time frame before coming back down. Right now we have a double top, right? So that's one indication that we're starting to massively resist this area. Are we going to come up and retest it, or are we going to come up to create the lower high before continuing down? That's what I thought this was, the lower high before continuing down. But then we got more tariff news. I'm gonna do both depending on which one is at the payout threshold first. Once that one's locked and the payout's requested, I'll switch over to the other one. Unless like I have my iPad over here and then I'm able to have another screen on here because I don't have another monitor to add another chart screen. And I have OBS open on this side with the music, and if I open up another screen, that's too much for my computer to handle. So either I upgrade monitors and the PC, or I just pop open my iPad and then take the positions when I'm in drawdown and catch some better moves. So there's a couple things that could be happening here. I don't want to tilt two accounts, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like copy trading two accounts. If you make one mistake, you made it on both accounts. Whereas if I'm in one trade on one account and then I just wait for drawdown to enter the trade on the other account, even if I do lose on the first account, it's going to be a lot less than the second account, and the profit on the second account is going to be a lot more if it's not a trade that goes into instant profit. So at the end of the day, that second account is going to be in a much better position than the first account if I just wait. Miss out on a couple of trades that are like instant profit, but alright, so what I thought was happening here was that we were creating a lower high here before the continuation down, right? When we created this high here that we faked out above these levels, we closed right back into range. We formed the support. We closed right back below support. I 100% thought we were going to continue down to continue coming down, right? Because what was happening here, we were forming a downtrend coming down. Price was creating the lower lows. We actually closed below, we faked out, and then we came back down again. I took a short here, trying to short this level again, and I got stopped out break even before it started pumping back up. So I thought that this would have been the next inevitable leg down, considering the lower high that was formed here. Bro, I chugged a carbonated drink for the first time ever in my life because I don't drink anything carbonated. And I was like, let me try this Monster. And I usually sip them. And I chugged it. And for the last 3 hours, I've been burping fucking the Monster flavor non-stop. So, we're in a tricky situation in my opinion. Our daily close with no top wick. We're coming up to create a top wick first, right? So, what are we rejecting off of before coming back down? We might not be rejecting off of any level per se. We may just be coming down for the next leg up, right? So, we have areas where we could look to target. This is about 290 pips away. So, we've completely shifted structure here. We were on a downtrend and then reversed, and now we're starting to come up, right? I need to see more structure here. Right? I can't just see this continuing up like this. Yeah, like on the 4-hour time frame, on our ways up, we have some decent pullbacks in here. It's kind of sketchy. So, looking at the hourly time frame, we closed above. We have a target here. I guess these zones are a decent target. For sells, this is what I'm looking for. But off of something. See here, we did it off of this level here. Here, where are we doing it off of? We didn't come up from all the lows like this and reject. We're forming structure on our way back up. I guess this move here is similar to this move here. But where are we gonna tap? We're bouncing off a higher low here. It's literally a higher low. So if the weekly is money printing, is setting up for the money printer, right? Once this weekly flips, that previous weekly no top wick, this flips, we have the weekly money printer grabbing orders at the previous 2 weekly highs. When you look down to your daily candle, there is no level to take sells off of here. The sells are all the way up here. So if you look all the way to your daily, you gotta wait for price to tap these levels up here, right? So this is very tricky. So market open to this low here. Market open gap. I would assume he gets some sort of pullback on the break of these lows here. On this daily break of the low. Damn, it's downpouring here. Yesterday while it was raining, my Wi-Fi shut off on me twice. My router just shut off. How was your guys' day today? Damn, nobody's on the YouTube side today. I guess I gotta do it on the PC. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to send Zoom links to any non-Clubhouse member that wants to get a Zoom link, you can just do the YouTube membership for like $2 or $3 or some shit, and then I'll send you a Zoom link. Only the Clubhouse gets that shit for the free, and then a couple other people that I send it on the side. Did I tell you guys how I was up $1,800 on my live account, and the second that I closed, it pulled back, and it put me at minus 88 bucks? $1,800 to negative 80 bucks. Don't ask me how is it possible. Everybody that I've asked said they don't understand, and I don't get it either. Right before news, spikes up, and I'm $800 in profit. I'm at 9:45, I'm up $900 in profit. At 10 on the dot, I'm up another $900 in profit. At 10:01, it spikes up to 1,800, and that's when I close, and then it pulls back to minus $88. I just started fucking around with Robinhood and doing some options, and my gold options were up like 300-400%, but I'm holding that for the long-term swing. And the Nasdaq, I was holding it to the all-time highs, and my goal was $1,000, close and leave a runner. I saw 1,800, so I decided to close 7 of my 8 contracts and leave 1 contract running. And it fucking, bro, looking at, bro, man, I don't even know what to say, bro. Like, I'm speechless, literally speechless. Like, this was at 9 a.m. at 9:45. Look at that percentage, bro. That thing is up like 800%. It was up 1,800%. And that's the thing. Since I realized I'm very good at calling the move, my entries and exits are something different, but my analysis wise and calling the actual move, I'm very, very, very accurate. So I said to myself, why can't I just do that on some options, have them swinging in the background, and if you are correct on the target, what happened to me will happen to you. You, instead of flipping $100 and getting 20% back on a play, you swing trade it so that 100 has a possibility of being like 1,800 bucks. If tariffs weren't reinstated and we had a pump up, it would have been worth at least $4,000 or $5,000, that trade. And then if gold would have kept dumping, my gold trades would have been up almost 1,000%. Hold on, someone's supposed to drop something off, and I've been waiting, and every like 20 minutes, I see a notification on my phone, and I go down to look. 1 second. Yeah, honestly, bro, that was a swing trade that I've had open for 3 weeks. And when it finally hit my price target and it doubled, I'm like, this is it. This is exactly what I've been planning for the entire time. Yeah, bro, unfortunately, there's a delay on here. Here, I'm gonna send you the Zoom link. If you want no delay to see, but if you're just here to talk shit, the like 10-second delay shouldn't be a big deal. But if you want to like follow along, you'll probably have to be on the Twitch side or... I mean, I got a 5-minute timer, so it's not a big deal. I haven't figured out why there's a delay. I think it's because I have to log in to Streamlabs with YouTube first and then stream on the YouTube first, but right now it's doing Twitch first. I might just stop doing Kick. I don't know if I guess I'll just leave Kick in the background. Kick really only promotes... No, there's no delay on Twitch. Twitch is more live than YouTube. Hey yo, Itachi, let's go. Itachi 101. Hey, Maurice Scott, how are you, brother? The big OG. I don't get why... I don't get why... Kick doesn't promote me. There's nobody else streaming fucking Forex. I'm the only one. Hey, 30 followers on Twitch. You guys snapped. Alright, so 8 o'clock closure. I was looking to take sells here on this 15-minute time frame, but we didn't quite tap into this range here, right? If we would have tapped into this range here and then rejected coming back down, I would have been more inclined to take the sells back down into the range because we bounced off the gap. But because we haven't bounced off the gap yet and we barely tapped it, I'm skeptical about taking sells here. We might just come down, tap, and then flip bullish. And we only have... I mean, there's 20 pips here, but I'm not trying to be in a 20 pip range. I'm trying to see if we break below this area, and then I can take sells into this range here. So at the very end of the day, everybody was trying to take buys, and everybody got chopped up in this bit here. So, I mean, we could have a bullish move off of here. But if we retest the gap and we do something like that, with a rebreak of the daily low, we got 34 pips here. 23 pips. It's still the same kind of. Let me go to the 5-minute time frame. Yeah, I'm gonna fix the delay. I'll be able to fix that delay. All right. So it looks like we're starting to come up here after rejecting this. We gotta pivot off this level and see what happens. 3 minutes for this hourly closure. This hourly is gonna close bearish. Bearish hourly closure. My dog Sam in the building with the fresh 50K account. So a lot of people think that some of this stuff is rigged, and it's not. It's that we've been here for so many giveaways that it's inevitable that we win some. We're here for every single giveaway. Probability states that you're inevitably going to win some or even a few. What are we gonna do here? If I tell you how many accounts I won, you'd be like, what the fuck? You rigged it for sure. Yeah, I've won a lot of accounts, bro. A lot. Hourly is about to close. Hourly closed bearish. The previous 30-minute is bullish with no bottom wick money printer to the upside. We are forming a lower high, a higher low. Our 15-minute does look like it's starting to reject and to push up here. And so do these other smaller time frames. Holy shit. Alright, I'm gonna have a sell stop here underneath these 15 lows. Alright, I'm in there. Once we tap to these levels here, I will be going break even. Hoping it trickles down here and it doesn't shoot too fast. I have a 5-minute rule on here, but I'm looking for a retest of the gap here before price pushes back up. Especially since we rejected the VWAP here and we money printed on the 15 on it. I wonder if we can get, it's 50 pip push to the downside. Let's see. I won, I'll tell you how many accounts that I won that I just blew because I didn't want to trade Forex like a dumbass. I won like 3 25K accounts and like 4 50K accounts. I gave away 1 or 2 accounts and then I gambled the other 4 and then I passed 1. You can get a closure below here. That would be nice. $150. Alright, I'm gonna go break even here. Break even at about 20 pips, 5-minute, no bottom wick. That's ugly. I'm probably not gonna be able to secure anything. I still have 2 minutes left. If we did get the top for the day, I'm extending that down and I'm gonna close partials in 1 minute and 44 seconds. Target, that's 50 pips. I still have 2 minutes left. I can't collect anything. $60 seconds. 20 seconds left. Alrighty, I closed 75% of the position there at 50 pips. The rest is house money. House money. Good thing we were able to close full at 50 pips. Not full, but the majority of the position at 50 pips. Nice. Very fucking nice. Honestly, now we just don't do shit. How much was my TP here? This TP would make me the same as the first position. Hey, what up, Drizza? How are you? Kind of fucked up and didn't enter the correct lot size. I wanted to get another entry, but it never came back down to BE or higher. I feel you, my brother. Now that we've tapped the what is this gay shit called? Damn, the gap. Now that we tap the gap, we can easily come back up now. If price is gonna continue bullish, we've already created that bottom wick for the daily. This is the full target where we could literally just come right back up. So this is about a quarter of the profit from the first position. So I don't think I'm gonna close half here for another 10 bucks. I don't think that's worth it. If it pumps to 50 bucks, which would be right here, maybe I'll close half at 25, but ideally I want to make the same as the original position. Just qualified for payouts in the second account I passed last week. Holy shit. Yeah, I also qualified for payout in a week and a half on the Forex one. With 2 micros too. Sometimes you just hit, bro, and sometimes you just go on a roll. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. We shorted up here and we're holding a runner right now. Let me get so you can see how accurate that entry was. That was so nice. That money printer off the VWAP was so nice. Now we could easily come back up. This is literally the target that I was looking for buys. But I'm holding a runner. If I wasn't holding a runner, I would possibly be looking for buys here. If I wasn't in a runner, I would be seeing what can I take for buys off the gap. I love this community so much, bro. We're so different than everybody else out there, bro. It's literally a proven fact. You go into everybody else's chat and they're like, what's a candle? Or you got somebody saying, are you dumb? You didn't see the order block there, the FVG off the ICT supply and demand? I'm like, bro, I don't use that, dude. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Why are you yelling at me? Yeah, but it's way different, but you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. And it's just more proof that this can be done. That we're all at the beginning stages tasting the crumbs, that we're right there from a fucking $1 million a year, dog. That's how it happens, bro. It just goes from a little bit of money, and out of nowhere you just stacked up millions of dollars in accounts and you're pulling out 10, 20, 30,000 a week. Wild shit, bro. That's the scalability of this shit. Like Spectral is a good example of how he has all these accounts and he still passed evaluations and has some evals in the back burner. Um, my idea is that he's gonna withdraw the max amount from his live accounts and then just activate the accounts that he just passed, so that way he can withdraw the max amount from his accounts and not keep withdrawing little bits, like 1,000 here, 2,000 there. He can withdraw the full buffer and then just start a new account. She's a runner, she's a track star. She gonna run away when it gets hard. If that low re-breaks, that's gone. She's a runner, she's a track star. She gonna run away when it gets hard. Na 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 na. Is she not a runner or a track star? She's not gonna run away when it gets hard. Where's 100 pips at? At these lows here? Forgot my pesto chicken wrap at work. No! Not the pesto chicken wrap with the sauce on the side. With the sauce, bro. Are we about to see a 100 pip runner on stream? Hey, if this is my only trade for the night, I'm perfectly happy with that. See how we're freezing here? We could start coming back up here. That's about 60 pips, isn't it? Yeah, it's about 60 pips. I don't think I want to take half there. I got a 0.05 running. fact that we're forming lower lows and lower highs is just primed for a continuation down. Ideally, we start coming back up here, retesting the top of the range here, and then coming back down, but we already did that here after filling the gap. So the next step would be filling the range down here and then pulling up before continuing down, right? Ideally, we can close the partial there at the 100. I just closed the whole fucking position. I just closed the whole fucking position like an idiot. Wow. Look at that. Look at that fucking dump. Look at how I just closed the whole position like an idiot, bro. Jeez. Well, I'm gonna say that's 100 pips on stream. I did not mean to close that. Technically, I would be closing half here at the 100 for another 40 bucks, and then it would be dumping. Wow, that gave me another 20 pips, 120 pips. Hey, I closed at 100 pips, bro. It is what it is. I closed full at 100. Could have been a 200 pip runner on stream. Well, that means that a 0.2, if it hit the 200 pips, it would have been a $12 gain. It's not about the gain, it's about the catching the move. It is the best time for a W, my brother. We just took a win. I almost didn't make it, but I made it, and we caught 100 pips on stream. I wish I can trade options right now. A $20 option on this pump down would have tripled or quadrupled. You could have made like 100 bucks off of 20 bucks in the options market on a move like this tonight. It's in. So I did some research on why I lost that, and it's because it's the premium, right? So there's like a, I don't know, I guess you could say like a, just like a price to pay for the contract, and then plus the theta and the data and the delta and all that shit that will cause your value to go up on the contract or down based on the dollar amount movement in the market. But then you also have the premium that it costs to buy the contract. So that's what went up. The premium went up 2,000%, and it didn't hold long enough for me to close. So when it pulled back to the original entry, which my entry was in drawdown, minus 80 bucks. That's why it closed me, because it just went right back to my original entry. As soon as it saw that spike up, it couldn't hold for long enough for me to close. Hey, thank you, brother. I didn't mean to close there, though. I did not mean to close there. Let's start. What the hell did I just do? I am so bad at using computers. What? I'm trying to delete one by one, not all of them. I'm so bad at computers, bro. So fucking bad. Any YouTube courses I can take on this shit? Any of you guys sell courses on computers? Well, this is the thing, bro. Growing up, I had computers. And then smartphones came out. And every time that I would get a new computer, it would always be a shitty one, and I would fuck it up. So I'm just like, I can do all my work on my phone. And then from like grade 8 and up, I never touched a computer again. I did 4 years of engineering in high school. Um, but man, all I did was fuck around. I never touched a computer in that class. After I learned how to use the program, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna forget this, and then I stopped fucking with it. Wait for this 30 closure. Mr. Jancy. Yeah. Honestly, he's one of the most amazing teachers I've ever had. One of the most amazing teachers I've ever had. Things that he says, I remember 10 years later, and I still say them to this day. What are the statutes of limitations on cheating in school? Or imagine you have like a computer desk, and the entire year you spent it fucking around because the teacher is like socially or like spatially unaware. He could be looking at his computer and you can get a football, throw it across the room, and he wouldn't even see you throw the football. A student that's not supposed to be there can walk in the class, and then he wouldn't even notice that the student's not supposed to be there. So he'll literally go and say, all right, you guys are messing with me. So you know what? Everybody sit down, and I'm going to go one by one, and you're going to mark your name off on this list. And he will go down chair by chair to see who wasn't there, because he really wouldn't know. So when kids wanted to pass his class without doing any work, when they would ask him, "Yo, can you put up the grades on the screen?" And they would put the grades up for everybody to see their own grade, and they would block it by everybody's student number, so nobody can see other people's grades. And he would plug in his computer, and then imagine the back of your computer has a bunch of USB ports. Somebody would plug in a wireless mouse or a keyboard, and from the other side of the classroom, as he's just walking around the class talking shit while the grades are up, the kids are up there changing the grades with the keyboard. So they're just over there in the background like this, going up and down on the spreadsheet, changing their grades that say 0, changing it to 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, so it wouldn't be noticeable. He's the one that would tell me, work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Don't be a hard worker. Work smart. Stop wasting your time working hard and work smart. Smart. He's like, look at me. I'm here teaching engineering because I decided to come and teach because teaching was my passion. I decided to come work hard. My brother, who's also an engineer, makes $250,000 a year, and he's in the Bahamas right now working on his plans from his villa in the middle of the ocean, or in the middle of the Caribbean. And I'm over here teaching engineering, and he's over there actually doing engineering because he chose to work smart and I chose to work hard. And he would literally give us life examples like that. If you sat down and you talked to him, he's a real G. He's a real G. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Trading is working smart for the 10% of people who make it. Most people's career in trading is this. And this is their break-even point. 10% of people slowly trickle up. And I 100% thought it was worth it to see if I was that 10%. It's a losing some, whatever, losing some game, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The probabilities are against you. They are highly, highly against you. Why not work smart and hard? Because when you work hard, your body will eventually give out. So you want to work just hard enough that you're preserving your body. Just hard enough. That's where working smart comes in. I'll give you a good example. In the field that I'm in, a lot of the newer guys don't want to upgrade to the new kind of machinery. They want to continue welding. And I'm like, my brother, you're carrying around a 75-pound machine up the stairs, up 4 floors, up to the roof. And if you run out of gas, you gotta go all the way back down to the truck, change your tanks, and bring it all the way back up. When you can just get the pressed fittings and switch over to the new school shit that's gonna save you weight and time. And we're gonna get the job done at the same time, but you carried 100 pounds up the stairs and I carried 15 pounds. We both worked just as hard. We finished the job at the same time. We charged just as much, but you broke your back, I didn't. That's what I mean by working smart, not hard. Working hard in trading would be good going on YouTube, taking every course imaginable and learning on your own on YouTube and journaling your own trades and creating your own entry. Working smart would be paying the big bucks for a fucking mentor that's actually doing it and just cutting all the corners. I wish I would have done that from the beginning. But I took the free route and grinded YouTube. Definitely worth it though. I don't regret going the free route. I just could have cut maybe like 2 years off my time. Sitting down one-on-one with Don and Wix instead of only like on Sundays because I had access to the Zooms for free. Like once a week sitting down and talking is different than having him mentor you every single day. In a month I get 4 days with Wix. The mentorship group gets 20 days with Wix a month. Damn, I don't like this 15, how it opened up. This would have been a clean buy if the 15 wasn't ugly like that and the 30 didn't look like that. Maybe if we can get another retest and then a flip bullish again, breaking above these levels. Like another good example is Don. When Don got started trading, that he made his yearly salary trading and he was able to quit his job, most people were like, oh, if you made your yearly salary trading, why don't you just keep working your job, working hard and double up on your money? Well, he thought that it was more beneficial to take that money, sit back and not have to work for an entire year while he figured the trading shit out completely instead of and ensuring that the year of making that 20K wasn't luck, that it was actual skill. So he decided to work less hard and be a little bit more smarter, sacrifice a little bit of the money, but have more of the freedom to actually pursue this full time. He was really banking on YouTube and all that shit starting to work for income as well, so that he could say, okay, cool, now if I don't really have to go back to a job. Let's see what can happen here. On the 5 minute, I kind of wanted another retest here before coming back up. Cosmic Gamer, Maurice Scott, I appreciate you guys for subscribing. I don't know why it didn't show the Cosmic Gamer earlier. This YouTube delay will be resolved, I promise. We would have survived here, man. I can't take sells either because we're respecting the gap and we're respecting this level here. We close right at it, respecting. We need to close below here, so that way we can take advantage of the next range down, which is 50-60 pips. Holy shit. The runner would have been so fucking nice, bro. Why did I close full? Holy crap. The entry was right here on this 15 flip. The entry was right here. It's a 107 pip runner. This is where I would move my stop loss. I would trail it to these highs here. Big dog Nadim. So if we start looking at this 4-hour time frame, how our daily gave us that money printer, we've already flipped on the daily, and we're starting to come back down. Where would we really tap, right? If you start looking at this time frame, where do you see some sort of like movement here that could, where we could tap? We could probably tap right here. The more that we refine it, the more that we see we have some clean range. We can come down and retest. We don't really necessarily have to come all the way down, but the fact that we're already doing it, life is good, bro. I'm awake. I'm working, trading, I'm eating. Life is good, but it can only get better. If this re-breaks the low, a sell stop would give us 40 pips here. What does our bottom wick on the daily look like? No top and no bottom wick here. Wait for this 15, but a sell stop there would have been valid. How'd you guys do earlier? What are we gonna do here? We're gonna close below here. 15 just closed. We closed below, back into this previous range. Yeah, I might have a sell stop here on the break of this low. And we're in there. Once we fill this wick, that's where I'm looking to go break even. It's about 22 pips. Don't like that reflip up. Let's see if I can pull it back down and break the low. We got this hourly closure coming up in 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Come on, 15, don't fail us now. Last 10 minutes of the 15, the first 5 minutes is spent at pulling back. We took a nice win earlier, and right now we're sitting in negative around 15 pips. I don't like that. Maybe we can get a spike down here on the hourly. Bit me some. Where you at? Is this an ICT buy setup? Be right back. Said that I'm doing pretty good tonight. I caught 100 pips on the first trade, 50 pips, 75% closure, and then the other 25% at 100. And then right now I'm sitting in a little bit of drawdown. Three minutes here, man. The volume is starting to pick up. What is the Asian Open going to do? Are we going to pump up during the Asian Open? Or are we going to get our bottom wick here? Our hourly is closing. Let's hope we don't start pumping up and respecting this level here. That would not be good if we pump up that high and close above there on these last couple of minutes. I will start to see what happens here at the VWAP. My stop loss is the rebreak of the daily highs, the hard stop, but I will be managing risk if we start to close above these levels here. My TP is dynamic. Once we fill this range, I'm going to be going break even. Just depends. Earlier we caught a massive move, if you see here. One minute and 20 seconds left. Can we fill the range so I can be break even by the closure? That's the thing, that we're gonna get a no bottom wick closure on this 15-minute candle in the last minute if it doesn't start to push now. If it doesn't push now, break the low and then pull back and give us a bottom wick, it's going to close doji with no bottom wick, and that's not good. 1 minute. Alright, I'm gonna go break even here. That was break even at 10 pips earlier than expected, but with this hourly 15-minute closing, no bottom wick like that, I don't like it. Let's see if it just dumps down. Oh, that's beautiful. We're just gonna close right there full at 30 pips. No top wick on the hourly. I'm not gonna risk it. Full closure 30 pips. What? It tapped you out, bro? I have insane spreads on Forex and it kept me in. What, bro? These spreads on Forex are insane, bro, and it kept me in. Look, I have 4 pip spreads right now. Your 5th BE today, it's slowly getting frustrating. Bro, with this 5-minute rule that I got myself into last week, I had 5 trades that ran 50 pips and I went back to break even. That's 250 pips, $450 of break even that I missed out on that I could have closed full on. I was tight. Off 0.2, 250 pips is $500, bro. Shit. Honestly, I think that's my last trade for the night. 130 pips for the session. I think that's beautiful. Look at the volume. This was a solid break even too. I went break even 10 pips earlier, but even then, if you would have waited the extra minute, waited for the range fail to go break even, that was 43 pip pop before the break of the low. I'm gonna stay on stream for a while. If I see like another A+ setup, I'll be able to take it. But with this hourly, no top wick, the hourly closing into this range, we're now at the bottom of the range. I would have to see a higher time frame come down, attempt to pull up to grab orders, and then break the low again to come back down to these levels. But this is the level that we're at where we can flip bullish and continue driving up now. So if we start to close above these levels, now with this opening, we can start looking for buys now. Maybe this is the official bottom wick before the continuation up. Maybe this is going to continue to all-time highs again, or maybe not. This is where we're going to start to make a decision. I got to get to 4,000 hours on the stream, so if you're on YouTube, pop open a incognito tab and pop that shit open on the other side and help a brother out. That's unfortunate, bro. That sucks. That's annoying. So I'm gonna tell you how I was planning on managing risk. This is gonna be a good lesson for those, so that way you guys can understand. So every trade that I take, I risk my max daily loss. So I give myself my max daily loss that I set for myself in order to get the trade right. So when I measured, My max daily loss was 500, and that was like 40-50 pips above the daily highs. That was like up here. So the idea is invalidated two different ways. Here and re-breaking here on a fast shot up after these lows, right? So if we started to respect these lows here, what do we have here? We have a bullish order block, whatever you want to call it. Price drove up, pulled back, created a support here, and then drove up off that support. If we respected this zone here and started closing bullish and started forming structure on the way up after creating a new daily low, and we started doing this, I would have attempted a pineapple here for the rejection off the VWAP. See, we've already started a major rejection, so if we were to come up again, we would likely see another rejection to retest the lows here, which is about 60 pips. So that should have taken us to break even or 20-30 pips in profit. It should have came back to somewhere like down here, 40 pips, which would have put us 20 pips in the negative. We would have been up 20 pips on the trade. And then my stop loss would have been moved to a break of, where is this? A break of these highs here. Why? Because if we reject out VWAP, we can still get a fake out and come back down like this and respect this area, which is the daily high, respect it and come back down. So I would have moved my stop loss 100 pips lower. And then I would have added 40 pips. So I'm saving 50 pips and having an additional opportunity to get out break even. The VWAP, honestly, my brother, we're both gonna look it up together. So you have the textbook definition of the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. And what I like to think of it is, if everybody, so this is the average price of all the orders in the market and all the economic factors factored in. This is the average price right now. The VWAP, I would consider it the average price where everybody's orders are in for the night, because it's accounting for the volume, the time, and the price, not just all of history together. So this is accounting for all of the orders that people are longing and holding from down here, all of these major banks, all that shit. This is accounting for all of the orders from the start of the session to now. So to me, this is like the average level or the average order where everybody's at in the market. And if you're in a bearish downtrend and you're coming up to retest this level, this is basically everybody's break even point, and they're in profit right now, the people that are in sells, deep in sells. So if this is everybody's break even point and the people that are in sells are in major profit, what do you think is going to happen when it gets back to their break even point? They're probably going to add more, because they want to be either, if this gets liquidated, you're going to get a straight shot up, right? If their sells get liquidated here, you're going to get a straight shot up and you're going to re-break the daily highs. It's going to pivot. Or if they want to continue the bearish trend, they're going to add a shit ton more orders here. So what happens when you retest this level? You get that hard bounce off of it. So the average orders for the market, people came up. Once you got to this level, they just added more to their entry and the market kept dumping. If everybody would have gotten stopped out here, what would have happened? The orders would have started flipping bullish and we would have rebroken the daily high. So that's why my idea was to take a pineapple there and use this as the pivot point. So we don't know if what's going to happen at that level, but we know that there's a high probability that it's going to continue the trend for the day. So that's why I took a pineapple. I would have taken a pineapple there or a second entry there and averaged in and moved my stop loss down. So there's definitely some discretion involved in the way that I trade, because you're thinking of what is the average trader doing. Like when you see Wix saying, oh, there's going to be a bunch of buy stops here, and you're like, how do you know there's going to be a bunch of buy stops there? It's because it's obvious that it's such an obvious entry, an obvious closure above, a bottom wick, a flip bullish. Like everything is so textbook perfect that a shit ton of traders are going to be taking an entry there. And when it's too obvious, it could be a trap where you get trapped in drawdown, it wicks you out, and then it comes back in profit. That's why Wix was saying, oh, I would rather see this break, fake out, and then come back in. So he would like to see the candle actually break, give everybody like 10-15 pips, and then fake everybody out, and then he'll re-enter on the new break of the high. It's easy to trade when you're trading with the trend and you caught the right direction. It's literally easy to trade. The hard part is when you're caught in the wrong direction, to understand that you're wrong, take the loss, and then start trading the correct way if it is a trending market. How would I know that the trend is reversing? If we start to close back above into range and start to re-break the highs, because then we have a high, we have a break of structure, but then we're breaking back into structure, right? If we started doing this, a new follower, Kai's plays, hey brother, if you play some video games, I'll be watching some of your shit. This would be breaking the downtrend structure and closing back into range and flipping bullish. Now, if we were to get a straight shot up, that's why I gave myself the max daily loss, because we can get a super fast straight shot up, wick into these areas, and then come back down. And that's what I don't want to happen. The same thing that happened on the last stream where I took the loss, where I added the 15th loss. I got wicked out by 15 pips, and then it came back into range, where what I do is I set my stop loss 10-20 pips higher than what it should be, or even more. I give myself plenty of room to eventually decide if that's going to be an accurate stop or not, based on the structure going up to that point eventually. Because let's say price were to have reversed here and you get straight bullish structure up with no bottom wicks, no bearish structure, the likelihood of it re-breaking the highs and continuing is very, very high. So that's why I had a hard stop at that level. But if you start getting like weird structure coming up, and then you start getting price consolidating here and then starting to pull back, I'm not gonna move my stops or anything, because I need to see how the market moves in that direction first. If you do this on your way up, valid to move your stop loss and to start managing risk, taking extra entries. I couldn't hold a runner here because I wasn't sure if this hourly was ever going to come up for a top wick. Without that top wick on the hourly, and you look at the 5-minute, made a massive top wick that broke the previous candle high, then flipped, the cleanest 5-minute I've seen in a long time. I was explaining, so maybe I didn't see that. Yeah, that is a clean 5-minute. The only thing that it's a good scalp, but for it to be something that I would take on this account with the 5-minute rule, it would have had to have done it under here. Wow, 20 pips. Wow. See, we're re-breaking daily lows and we're forming nice structure on the 5, but with that hourly no top wick, that's suspect. That is definitely a clean 5-minute if I've ever seen it. Good call on that. That's a clean 5-minute. Re-breaking the daily low. If it wasn't for that level there and the hourly no top wick, I would have been interested. Maybe that would have been where I took a partial on the runner here, if I would have held a runner. Wow, are we going to fill this whole pump up? This was my original target, the New York average orders, right? So this is the New York entry, New York average orders right here. So think about it. If price starts to come down to these areas and starts to consolidate and then flip bullish, that's a really, really good target because the Asian average order versus the New York average order, what's going to win? Like you can just take sells right now, understanding the probability of this happening is very, 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 very extremely high. But the way this 15-minute close, no bottom wick, I'm not interested. I'd rather wait till we get there and then take buys once we get there. For us to take more sells, we would need to fucking pull back and do that again. Or pump just like this all the way down here, and then we can take some buys here, some wick entries. It's building a narrative. This is the daily money printer. You know the daily money printer is going to give you a large move. So how can you anticipate it? You know that if you're rejecting off the average orders, you're rejecting off the VWAP, you're rejecting off the daily highs, the money printer is playing out, brother. It's setting up the daily top wick for that money printer. So that's why I took those sells off the 15-minute money printer on the lower time frame off the VWAP, and I continued to take sells once we rebroke the low to finish that range. It's the daily money printer. The daily money printer. And if the daily money printer starts to, if this is the weekly high, right? If this daily money printer created the weekly high and we start to fill this entire range here, we'll be literally flipping the weekly candle. Once we flip that weekly candle, that's the weekly money printer setting up again. So what do we know? We have more range to the downside here, man. If I would have left this sell all the way up here running, I could have had a 0.01 running from up here all the way down to these lows and caught a full 1,800 pips. So you see the money printer on all time frames, bro. Identify it, and you can literally say, okay, if this is the money printer on the daily candle, we're at the daily high and we're starting to reject. Does that mean that this is the daily high in order to come down to create that bottom wick and fulfill the money printer? And that was the whole idea, knowing the probability of that happening being so high. Bruh, it's just probabilities and then looking for your patterns within those probabilities as you build the narrative. When I switch back to the futures account, this is the switch that I'm gonna be making, right? Look at when we took an entry here. That went 60 pips in profit before a pullback. Knowing that when I take my entries, I can start going break even around 25 pips, maybe 30 pips, right? Same thing with here. Knowing I can go break even around 25 to 30 pips, following, saying, okay, if I'm in profit, let me set a timer for that 5 minutes and try to hold these profits for a little bit longer, knowing that it's been working out for me very, very well, holding longer. Since I am going to be trading 2 micros, I'm most likely going to be closing full at like 30 pips and having just take profits at like 30 pips. Maybe having a TP at like 50 pips for those extreme pops like this one, and closing one contract on the way down. Yeah, honestly, if you would have held those sells on that flip, that's an extra 100 pips, bro. You lost 30, and this was an extra 100 pips. You'll be all right. If if I was down 30 pips for the night, I would be pretty happy. I would have, honestly, if I was stuck in some buys here, this would be my last attempt at a pineapple. If we re-break this low, that's it. If I was in some buys, I would have, with an entry here, the pineapple would have been here. 5-minute rule is over after that pineapple. See if we get a pullback to these ranges. Trying to get out break even before the re-break of the low. If not, that re-break is gone. That area looks good for a little rejection with the way that it's moving, but with the way that it's moving, you can also just get a full push right through. But the fact that we've already gotten a push through and we're consolidating at a level of interest, this could be the savior to get out break even before the continuation down. I'll run this till 9:30. I don't think I'm gonna get a setup here. I'll probably stay on the charts. I gotta make some food and eat something, but I'll probably stay on the charts for like another 45 minutes. Yeah, this is where the pineapple savior would be. If you were able to get out break even here, I would just be getting out break even and saying fuck it, minus 10 pips. Yeah, pulled back 41 pips of 100 pip drawdown if you would have taken a re-break of the highs here. So you would have been minus 20 pips. Yeah, I would have probably just closed minus 20 there. Would have resulted in the same as just closing at the top. Minus 30, minus 20. So, the 30-minute is about to close. We just had a 15-minute closure that closed right below the range with no bottom wick, right? We have a lot of clean range to fill, but where are we going to bounce off of? So if you're looking to take buys, I would be looking for all of these levels here. That's a good buy level. These are good buy levels here. These are good buy levels here. This is a good buy level here. Hey, Nisha. Thank you for becoming a member. Hey. The first member. I will be another member. My dog, Doc. Oh, you're gifted a membership by Wish9. No way, bro. You snapped. You snapped. Bro, what the hell is going on? No way, brother. You're paying for my Zoom today, my bro. Alright, big dog. When you come down to Florida for the Wix9 meetup, I'm 100% sure he's gonna do one of those. I got you with some tomahawk steaks. Some big steaks. Some big boy steaks. Yeah, every single one of you, if you don't have the Zooms, I'll be sending you the Zoom links. Poppy steak for everyone. I don't got poppy steak money, but I can take you for sure to Chima, and we can have some nice Kanya and tomahawks. Well, they do have tomahawk there.
Where did that name come from? What's with the server's uniforms?
They just start coming out with steak after steak after steak after steak. Where are the videos of their steak? Not some fucking B-roll. This is all fucking gay B-roll. Look at this. Nobody cares about... These are all the sides that you can get. Nobody cares. Look at the steaks. Yeah, they walk around with picanha and they just start cutting it up with sirloin steak or everything, all kinds of steak. And you have a little tab where you flip it open, and then that means I want food, and then you flip it over when you're done, because it's a shit ton of food. Then they start going around with shrimp. They start going around with everything, bro. It's so good. Big Dog Nate. A the big boss. Alright, I'm calling it at 9:30. I think that's a great fucking session. 60 pips on the first trade, and then 30 pips on the, sorry, it was 60 bucks. It was 25 pips on the second trade, not 30. So in total, like 75 pips for the session. So we caught the 50 pip 75% closure, and then we accidentally closed full here. If not, we would have a runner for 240 pips tonight. Honestly, I wouldn't have taken another trade if I had a runner going all night. Or maybe I would have taken another trade and then just managed them differently because it's Forex and it wouldn't have mattered. But the runner would have been up 233 pips if I didn't accidentally close, bro. If I didn't accidentally close. That is wild. Yeah. There's a lot of, like, listen, if price continues to dump like this, you can just attempt risky sells and just have small stops because, I mean, look at these pullbacks, bro. They're nothing. Another rebreak of the low. But careful with this area here. Hey, bro, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, Nate. You're the man. I posted a video on how to pass prop firm accounts. A much, much better edited video. Look at these money printers popping up. A lot of people take these evals too serious. And a lot of people are trying to pass them and they don't have an edge. They don't have a system. Like, you need to develop that first before you even try, my brother. You really have to understand where your stop losses are going to be, where your take profits are going to be, the probabilities of your trade playing out. You got to have at least 100 trades that you've taken the same and you've tracked. That is very, very key. When Don was saying, oh, you need to track your trades and to have a system, and I'm just like, fuck that. Waste of time. Why would I track my trades? I can just see what the market is doing and I can enter. And not understanding my probabilities and not understanding how long my trades actually run for would cause me to overmanage or undermanage my trades. Imagine if every single one of your trades runs for 100 pips, will you close it at 10 knowing that it's going to run 100, you're not going to close it at 10 knowing that it's going to run 100. So if you see that the last 100 trades, all of them ran 100 pips, you're like, oh shit, let me stop closing at 10. Let me see what happens if I hold till 20. And now you hold till 20. And then after another 100 trades, you're like, huh, what happens if I hold till 30? And then in another 100 trades, you're like, huh, what happens if I close partials at 30 and I leave a runner? What's going to happen then? And then you start to really develop your strategy, bro. And your risk tolerance. And that's how you can manage the risk on these accounts. You guys have been a huge blessing in my life. The past year, this community has truly changed my life, bro. 100%. This group of guys and girls in the chat is different. This is the small 10% that actually does something in this field compared to everybody else. Like, seeing us come up with our own entry types, seeing us see the same stuff, identify the same structure, like, you can tell that it's not just bullshit. Yeah, that's the thing too, that it is a solo journey, and it is kind of embarrassing to make a lot of progress and then tilt and fuck it all up, and then you hide it, and there's really like no one else to help hold you accountable. But if you like tell other people your mistakes and your losses and what happened, number one, you can see that they also take the same entries as you, and they also took the same loss probably, and they managed a difference. You're like, huh, you closed it there, so you been knew the trade was wrong. Why was I delusional and held too long? And if you make a real bad mistake and you tilt and you blow an account, everybody can help you out. And there's like, it's just accountability, bro. It's like, if you're constantly making mistakes over and over and over and over and over, the same one over and over and over, and you're just keeping it to yourself and not letting it out there, you don't want to let your boys down. You don't want to let your community down. So you're like, damn, if I tilt, bro, and I tell them that I lost another funded account, bro, fuck, dog, what's wrong? I gotta tighten the fuck up. And then you start thinking like that, bro, and you're like, damn, I can't let my boys down. I can't let the group chat down. Nah. Don't be an idiot and over risk on this trade. You're not supposed to do that. Just because you're not going to tell nobody doesn't mean you should do it. And if you just have people that help hold you accountable, like, it helps. Having a community. It's like what we were talking about, my the guy yesterday, one of my clients that has a team of like traders and stuff, and you ask, why don't we pay them? And it's because they trade in a team, bro. They don't trade one guy on the computer. They have like a risk manager, they have like an analyzer, they have like a portfolio manager, they have all these things in place, and it's not just one dude. Yeah, there's no, we care but we don't judge, because everybody's different, bro. You don't know what people's mental state is. You don't know if someone's going through some shit in their life. You don't know what's going on. So if you're like, damn, bro, why did you tilt and lose that? Maybe they were going through something that day and just made a real bad decision. Yo. Ah, okay, I see what's going on here. I gotta get on the notifications to turn that on. Yeah, man. So if this re-breaks the low here, I mean, this is like a good celery play to the downside, money printer to the downside. This is a good trade. This is a good sell. But I think I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. Take it easy, gang. I appreciate you guys for showing up. I appreciate you, Nate, for the gifted subs. I really appreciate everybody that showed up today. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate the views. Tonight was a banger session. Barely. Well, we did have a little bit of drawdown on that first trade. I think we had like 30 pips of drawdown, 20 pips of drawdown on this first trade. But just beautiful trades tonight, man. Beautiful entries and beautiful analysis. Thank you guys for showing up. I hope you guys learned a little bit today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 7:30. Peace. Thank you, Zoom, for showing up. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, every single one of you. All of the new members, I'm going to be sending you guys the Zoom link every day. I'm going to be doing a private post every day for the members only with the Zoom link on YouTube. Take it easy, gang. I appreciate you.